Thank you for joining this webinar, whatever you are in Europe, in the United States. Nobody from Asia, apparently. That's normal. It's the middle of the night in Asia. So thank you for joining this webinar that will last a maximum of 45 minutes. It's about the executive DBA that we launch online everywhere. And maybe Professor Denise Podolsky, you can introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Michelle. I am Professor Denise Potosky. I'm a professor of management and organization. I am a professor at the Pennsylvania State University in the US, and I have been working with the fabulous faculty with Professor Kalika here and some of the amazing students in this DBA program since its beginnings 10 years ago. So it's I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Denise, for being available on Saturday afternoon. I am Michel Kalika. I am emeritus professor from the University of Lyon. I have been in different universities in France, in Strasbourg, in Paris-Dauphine University, and I'm the founder of Business Science Institute 10 years ago. And thank you for joining to this webinar, wherever you are located. Maybe we will begin with some technical advice. The microphones are not open. They are on off because there are a lot of people who are connected, but you can always interact with us either through the chat, either through Q&A. You can ask any question during the webinar, at the end of the webinar. Anyway, you can also ask us any question after the end of the webinar. First of all, I will introduce Business Science Institute, and then my colleague will present the program, and of course we will be available to answer your question. Business Science Institute in a few words. So we just said that we have been created 10 years ago, and originally, and that's important to say, we have been created to meet the demand of a manager, of experienced manager holding an MBA or an equivalent degree. And this manager, generally, they had a lot of experience, of managerial experience, and they wanted to step back from their managerial experience, managerial practices, and they wanted to reflect. They wanted to either make conferences, either transmit their competencies, either publish a book or article. It was the initial idea. And we created an organization, Business Science Institute, because the traditional PhD did not answer very well to the demand of this manager. That's why we created at the beginning Business Science Institute. And today, 10 years after, Business Science Institute is an international academic network organization. We focus only on one program, so that's quite exceptional. It's we can call it a strategy of specialization. We focus only on a DBA for manager. We are a non-for-profit organization established in 2013, and we are very proud to be, excuse me, to be one of the 10 AMBA accredited DBAs in the world. There are only 10 DBA accredited by AMBA. We have today around 235 doctoral students. I put on the slide that the average age is 46. That's important because that means that they have 20 years of experience after obtaining their degree. We open in the world in the beginning, yes, in Montreal, it's true, 59 groups in 11 countries, and our manager, they are coming from 50 nationalities. We teach face-to-face at the beginning, and now we teach also online. What is the most important is not the number of students who have been registered or who are registered today. It is a number of theses that have been defended. Nearly 140 DBA theses have been defended in March 2023, and we will have 31 new defenses at the end of this month in 2 weeks in Luxembourg. We are a network organization, and that's one of our strengths is that we have more than 150 professors. 18, we call it fellow because they supervise theses, they teach in face-to-face or in distance learning processes. We teach in French at the beginning, then in English, then in German, and very soon we prepare an online version in Spanish. We teach face-to-face and online. Face-to-face in different towns in the world and online everywhere in the world. One of our characteristics is that we focus on book. I will talk again about that. We have published 55 books, and these books are available book only on DBA, and these books they are available in print version and also online. We have nearly since the beginning a partnership with a public university in France, the University of Lyon, the business school of the University of Lyon, which name is IAE, and we deliver a double degree, the degree of Business Science Institute, which is AMBA accredited, and the official degree of the French university, which is a degree from the university. We have also a partnership for a specific group in sustainable innovation management with ICN, a business school, Triple Crown accredited, based in Lorraine, in Nancy. Our program is very affordable because we are a non-for-profit organization, and all the information are on our website. Okay, our program is quite a challenging program with several options. We can say two main options, of course, in different languages. One option is face-to-face in English, French, and German, and one option is online in English, French, German, and very soon in Spanish. For all, we have only one program, but the format of delivering is different, but it is the same program. And for all the program, you have the double graduation from Business Science Institute and from the University of Lyon. And for the specific group ICN, you have also the degree from ICN. As I told you before, we are an AMBA accredited DBA program. And you know that it is one of the highest standard of achievement in postgraduate business education. And it's a standard that indicates the quality of the program, the quality of the faculty. AMBA focus a lot on quality of delivering, quality of the research, and also impact of the research. Because AMBA consider that DBA is a kind of PhD, but with impact, with managerial impact, and that's very important. We are also IRAFPA. IRAFPA is a non-for-profit organization based in Switzerland, and they will deliver to us in September. We obtain it in August, and they will deliver it in September. The certification, which name is Responsible Doctoral School. It means that in terms of academic integrity, we check a lot of criteria, and we take care, of course, about plagiarism and so on. Okay, now Professor Denise Podolsky will tell you some word about the program. Denise?
Thank you, Michel. So it might help to think about how this program happens, right? What would a student who signed up for this DBA program experience, right? So we can think about the program as occurring in 3 phases, right? Phase 1 is a time when you might is getting started, right? To figure out not only what you are most interested in terms of tailoring your DBA to the investigations and questions that you have as managers as consultants and so on from your own background, but also what sort of methods and what type of research can you do, right, along that theme. So phase one is devoted to core seminars that focus on the acquisition of knowledge in the domain that interests you, as well as the methodologies available for research in that domain. So if you look at the program description on the right, which is also on BSI's website, phase one, we call our fundamental seminars that include managing the thesis process, right? We begin with the end in mind, right? So this ends with the DBA thesis. So we'll get started with that right from the beginning. And then there are seminars that address different themes and paradigms, ways of understanding the types of questions and problems that you aim to solve. Also included in phase one are methodological seminars that help you decide and understand how to approach these practical business problems from a qualitative methodology as well as from a quantitative methodology. So at the end of phase one, you should feel prepared to answer the questions or solve the problems that you come to the DBA to solve, understanding the knowledge domain, understanding the methods, and upon completion of phase one, BSI awards a certificate of research in business administration. And then you are ready to begin phase two. Phase two is devoted to the initial stages of writing your thesis, right? This process takes place under the supervision of a professor from the Business Science Institute's scientific committee. So phase two, now remember, this is more or less self-paced, but phase two invites you to engage in two seminars, right? Two seminars that you choose that are maybe most, and with the guidance from the advisor, that are most relevant to beginning the thesis process. And of course, there is an international seminar, more broadly based, where you might have the opportunity to become more familiar with some of the other DBA students as well as some of the other faculty in the business affiliated with the Business Science Institute. So phase two's purpose is very tailored to you, right? So that you can begin to collect data and begin the writing of your thesis. After phase two, you are ready for phase three, which focuses on you writing up the final version of your thesis. And the organization, don't worry, we prepare our DBA students, right, for that final defense. So we organize a mock defense in order to help you prepare for the accomplishment of the DBA diploma. So phase three is where our DBA students are very much engaged in writing their DBA thesis, preparing to defend the thesis. You also are invited to, now that once you get into the process, many students find the need for more information, right, to pick up skills or knowledge that will help them complete the thesis. So there are two follow-up seminars included in phase three, leading up to the defense of the thesis and the awarding of the DBA by the Business Science Institute.
Thank you, Denise. Maybe a specification about the thematic paradigm. In the thematic paradigm, you will have a seminar in research in marketing, research in digital marketing, research in human resource management, research in IS, research in strategy. We will cover all the different field of research in management. And so these two courses will permit you to identify some supervisor, and you will better understand the kind of research that you can manage in your field.
Exactly. Yeah, so one of the benefits of working with the faculty at BSI is the array of options that you might have, right, to consult and to learn from. So BSI has assembled an outstanding faculty whose goal is your thesis defense. So the faculty members, I think there are almost 150 faculty members around the globe who are all internationally well known for publishing in well-regarded outlets in various fields of management science.
Yeah, and they come from different institutions. For example, Professor Chevalier is from HEC Paris, Professor Beaulieu is from UQAM, Professor Hagen is from Italy, Professor Meyer-Warden is from Toulouse School of Management, and Professor Christotome is from Ivor Business School in Canada, and so on. And it's only example, What is important is that we are always available to find a faculty to supervise your thesis, whatever the topic.
That's right. So at this point, you may be wondering, do I have what it takes? Or am I the right person for the DBA? Well, I'd like you to consider that you are also considering if the DBA is right for you. So that matchmaking process is very easy, right? You can submit your CV for review to the CV at businessscienceinstitute.com, as the address is shown. And your CV at the top or at the beginning, it helps to provide a brief summary that includes your current profession, that includes your position, the organization that you work for or most recently worked with, and the country that you're located in, the number of years of management experience that you have, your highest and most recent qualifications. So this not only includes your educational background, but perhaps you have additional professional certifications, and that would help. And within 48 hours, you will receive feedback on the likelihood of your admission to the program. So there are really two main conditions for acceptance into the Business Science Institute's DBA program. All of our DBA students have at least 5 years of managerial experience. Many have much more than that. And the DBA assumes that you have already completed a master's degree, such as the MBA program, or an equivalent professional master's degree that provides you that educational background for the management sciences. In order to register, the process is simple. Right. It's also readily available from Business Science Institute's website. And the process is rigorous as much as it is accepting and rapid, so that you can get the feedback that you need. So you send your CV to the Executive DBA Program Scientific Advisor with the prefaced information that I just mentioned. And if you receive a positive response within 48 hours, then you are invited to complete your formal application online. Then the formal application is reviewed, and you will be invited for a remote formal interview with a jury who will make a decision, right, in cooperation with the International Scientific Committee. And if you are accepted, you can begin your registration for the DBA program?
We receive on that point a question: when do we have to apply? And the answer will be, it depends on the group. If it is online, you can apply when you want, because online you can begin the program when you are ready. If it is a group, for example, a group in Luxembourg, a group in Geneva, a group in Paris, a group in Shanghai, a group in Bangkok, you have to apply minimum 1 month before the beginning of the group. And the dates of the beginning of the group are on our website. And so you have to check which kind do you want to attend the program online. You can send your CV and your application when you want, or if you want to candidate to a face-to-face group, but checked when it will begin. For example, in Paris, it will begin in January, I think in Luxembourg too, in Geneva in November, and so on.
It's great that you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's go.
It's great that you bring that up, just how quickly the process moves, that you can apply within 1 month of an in-person start date or at any time. As you can see from the process, we don't waste anybody's time, right? We know that you are eager to get some feedback at every step of the way. So I think that's a really important point, Michel. Thank you.
Yeah, you are right. It's one of our DNA, one of our characteristics. We are a responsive organization. We are a responsive organization because we understand that for managers who are working all over the world, they cannot wait during 1 month to have an answer after they send their CV. So all the support team and also the faculty, they know that they have to answer our students, our manager very, very quickly. We have to specify also that that's an important issue. It's about impact, because we organize every year an award about the managerial impact of the thesis, and we organize video for this for the thesis which have the best impact. It's important because for us, a DBA thesis is more than a degree. What do we mean? Of course, it's a degree. Okay, and it means that at the end of the day, at the end of the story, at the end of the process, you will defend your thesis and you will receive the degree, the diploma from the university, from Business Science Institute. That's sure. But we say that there is something after the defense. After the defense, because the topic of the thesis is strongly related to your life, to your professional life, to your managerial experience, we always say that the DBA, it's an opportunity, it's a way to create impact. An impact, what do we mean? Impact on you, in personal impact on manager who are studying, but it's also managerial impact. Why? Because the topic on which you will work during 3 or 4 years is related to your job, to your company, to your industry. So the result of the research will be useful for you, of course, but also for your company. And that's why some company founded the program, because for them, DBA students, it's like a consultant at home during 3 or 4 years. And there is also, you must know that some theses create societal impact. More and more DBA students work on topics in relation with sustainable development goals. You know why? Of course, we all face a climate change, a climate crisis, and a lot of our students all over the world, they work on topics which are related to societal challenge. And you have here the cover of a book we publish in English and in French. This book, the title is 80 Tales of DBA Impact. What is it about? We organize 80 interviews of alumni, and we ask them to describe the impact for them, for their company, for their industry, and also more globally for society, to describe the impact of the thesis. And you will find in this book, which will be available at the end of the month, amazing story. We were convinced about the impact of the DBA. Frankly speaking, not at the beginning. When we created the DBA program, we were thinking that the DBA is mainly a degree. And then we discover through the experience of the alumni that a DBA is much more than a degree. It's also impact, and on this 3 dimension, and this book will be useful on that point. I will answer. Yes, of course, Denise.
Would you like to answer questions now or wait until the end?
I just was looking to the question: are the person on online group, can they move? Okay. The process of selection is the same, whatever the group. Online group in Luxembourg, group in Paris, online in the USA. The process is the same. And when you are admitted, you can choose the group where you want to be. And it can be a face-to-face group, or it can be an online group. Do I answer to your question?
One thing I think this means, though, is if I were a student and I signed up for the online DBA, could I then maybe for the second phase attend the in-person group? Right? Are you in either an in-person group or the online, or can you switch between the two?
Generally, you cannot switch between the two. It's not automatic, but exceptionally, you can. For example, we have some students who begin in an online group and then they move to a face-to-face group. We have also some students who select a face-to-face group. And for example, if they are not available for a seminar, they can attend an online course or a seminar in another town. So there are some flexibility. But when you are involved in a group, it means that the follow-up is organized by one professor. We call it referent professor. We have, for example, referent professor for the group of Paris, referent professor for the online group, and so on. We want one professor to follow what you are doing. That's why you are related to one group. But we have some flexibility. It's not automatic, but you have flexibility. I think we answered to the question.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your question. And then we were talking about book. We publish a lot of book. We are the only DBA program in the world with a specific collection of book. And our book have been published by faculty member on one side and by alumni on the other side. I can give you some example. We will publish in September a book on research on sustainability. I see that here it is the French version, but we have at the same time the book in English. It will be published in the 2 languages at the same time. Because a lot of students are making research today on sustainability. And what is interesting also, this book will be published with the participation of faculty, with alumni, and also with some articles from our doctoral students working on such topic. We have a book on research method for the DBA. We have a book also on how to analyze the data, the quantitative and the qualitative data. We have a specific book on qualitative research, because, you know, very often the students, they use qualitative methodology because this methodology are very well adapted to DBA program. And we will publish also at the end of the year an epistemo-dico. It's about epistemology and definition of all the terms useful for manager, and so on. We have around more than 25 books published by our colleague. And we have also books published by our alumni, generally 9 months, 1 year after the defense. Some of them, it's not mandatory, but it's a way to create impact. Very often, the alumni, they explain us that they create impact just after the defense, and then they create a new impact 1 year after when they disseminate the result of their research through books. And you have here some example of books published in English. We have some books also in French. The two recent one is Hospital Management. It's a director of an hospital who publishes a book at the beginning in French and now in English. And Leadership of Digital Transformation. It is the CEO of a bank in Luxembourg who will publish the result of its research. If you want to go ahead and to better understand what is a DBA or what is our view, our conception of the DBA, our advice is you can have a look on the book, How to Successfully Complete Your DBA. It's a 100-page book, and we answer all the questions that generally the student asks us. You must know that we have also books that will help you to specify your thesis project. There is another book that we published 1 year ago, The Doctor of Business Administration, Taking Your Professional Practice to the Next Level. It's a book published by 8 AMBA accredited programs all over the world. And they explain that really the DBA is an answer to the need of manager today. And there is another book which is quite exceptional. It is The Doctor. They publish a book to give advices to the doctoral students. And it was quite funny to see the doctor giving advice to the students. It's a very useful book.
Michel, I'd like to, can I take a moment, the last few slides, and then we've talked about publishing in books, right? So some of these are, you know, front to back books. Others are collections, right? So they're each chapter might be written by a different author, an alumni, or a student in the DBA program. And many students, you know, DBA students come to us as business leaders with challenging problems to solve or rich insights into phenomena that they've observed firsthand. So these books reflect another way to celebrate your expertise that gets combined with the training and the research methodologies that one does during the process of completing the DBA, right? So I just wanted to add that publishing in a book is not the expectation or a requirement of the DBA program, but a culmination and a way to show and publish the impact that a DBA student can have by working through these challenges and solving these problems and completing the DBA.
You are absolutely right. And, you know, your comments is, we can make the relation between your comments and the motivation of the students. the students who are involved in a DBA program, they have different kind of motivation. It could be personal motivation, realization motivation, to prove that they are able to obtain the title of doctor. But it could be also professional motivation. For example, for people who are consultants, to be a doctor, to publish a book on the result of their thesis is obviously an added value, a huge added value. Also, for people who are working in international organization, or people who are working in international consultant firm, they appreciate a lot to publish a book, and the title of doctor gives them a kind of new respectability. The people consider that they have new competency, then that's true. When we made the survey on our alumni, all of them that told us we think about the problem differently. We are able to manage complexity, and so that's important to know that. And maybe now, Denise, we can answer the other question that we have. Or I receive different question. The first question is about how is the topic selected? And we have to be clear on that. The topic of the thesis. The topic of the thesis. You want to comment this question, Denise?
Sure. With more than 150 faculty in an array of fields that are relevant to the challenges of leading organizations, there's a wide range of topics that a DBA student can choose to focus on for their thesis.
Yeah, and what is important to understand is that when you enter the program with your topic, with the idea of your topic, and then we help you to specify the topic, to transform your managerial question on a conceptual question. But the topic is always related to your experience, because it's an assess, because you have been working during 15 years, 20 years in a field, this field, this industry, you are able to easily collect information. And collect information is very important in the thesis process. That's why we always ask to the students in the proposal of research to specify the topic of the research, and to demonstrate that there is a relation between the topic of the research and their experience. We have another.
Michelle, many students ask about how long the program lasts, and to what extent is it self-paced? I mean, are we obliged to finish right away, or what can we expect in terms of the duration of the program?
Because we are an AMBA accredited program, the formal length of the program is 4 years. Because it's a doctoral program, a part-time program, so there is a very, very serious program, so it's 4 years. But in practice, the length before the defense is 3.5 years for us, for Business Science Institute. And our rules are that we organize the defense when the thesis is ready, when the supervisor agree, when the reviewer agree, when we agree, and so on. So that's an indication. 4 years, average 3.5 years, and some people they defend before. Some defend later. They can also take more time, but it's not the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We have another question about how the supervisor is selected. It's not a hierarchical process. It's how can I say, mutual adjustment process. The
Yes.
faculty, yes, explain, Denise. How do we select?
Oh, I don't need to explain, but when I hear you say the process of mutual adjustment, it's almost like a matchmaker, right? The student and their focus has a great deal of say. It's not like BSI has a team of faculty and the faculty gets assigned to the student. It's much more a matchmaking process. Perhaps you can elaborate.
Yeah. I like the term matchmaking because once a student during an information session told me, "But Michel, you are a matchmaker," and I was surprised by this formula. And okay, so we are matchmaker. I think that we answered to the most part of the question. Is there any other question on the chat? You can ask any question. Of course, you can ask other question. You have here the email of our contact. You have my email also. We generally answer in 24 or 48 hours. Okay, I think that we have answered all the questions, so we can any other online question, it's okay, so we can stop. We are available to give you more information, and don't hesitate to contact us. See you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Professor Denise Patowski, and see you next week in the International Week in Luxembourg.